We're talking about Black Friday specials on cryptocurrencies. Run me through it, Boris. What are we doing?
Yeah, so I thought for this episode, what we could do is see what happens with Bitcoin during Thanksgiving. Because actually, the previous week, I had someone ask me, "Is it like should I buy or should I sell my crypto or my Bitcoin on during Thanksgiving?" And I kind of said from my personal experience that I should probably sell because there's been some instances where I remember there was a sell off in crypto during the Thanksgiving holiday. However, I really didn't have like actual data to go on. It was just my data or like my experiences from my memory, which isn't perfect. So I actually went throughout all of Bitcoin's history and tried to find out what actually happened during the Thanksgiving holiday season and into the weekend. I mean, honestly, into the end of the year for pretty much all of Bitcoin's history. So from 2011, I believe, or 2010, all the way up to 2022. So we have about 13 years of price history to go on, and I'm gonna present it here actually for this I guess analysis. What I did is I actually went into Excel or Google Sheets for the first time in many years to do this analysis, and I actually used I set up some formulas. I used Excel for the first time in like so, I mean, as a trader, I don't really use Excel that much anymore. In my previous job where I was like a hedge fund analyst, I had to use Excel quite extensively in my day to day. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. But the point is, I actually did a deep, I guess, analysis of what happens on like the actual Thanksgiving Day. So this column, the first column here, represents the closing price on each Thanksgiving going back to 2010 and onwards. And then the next column, that's the end of year price. And then what I did is I just compute like the percent change between the Thanksgiving Day price and then the end of year price, so December 31st of each of these years.
Yeah.
And basically, what I found was, uh, what I found was this. So 7 out of 13 years were positive, or 53.8%. 4 out of 13 were negative, so 30.7%. And then 2 of 13 were flat. And by flat, I'm going to go back to my previous slide. We can see in some years we had like a 95% increase. And then in a couple of the other years, there was only, for example, in 2019, it was only a 1.36% decrease, which to me is like negligible, especially when we're talking about Bitcoin now. Maybe if we're like examining the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq, that would be more statistically significant. But a 1.36% move is nothing for like a time span of a month for Bitcoin, so that's very negligible. So I would categorize that as flat. And then 2022 is cut off here for some reason, but yeah, for 2022, the difference was like even less. It was like 0.36%. So on November 24th of 2022, Bitcoin closed the Thanksgiving Day at $16,593, and at the end of the year, it was it was like 16,532. So pretty much the same price. This was just after the FTX collapse. So I guess there was just a lot of uncertainty. Not many people wanted to trade Bitcoin at that time. So yeah, essentially 2019 and 2022 were very flat years. And yeah, and so from this data, I can only come to this like conclusion that
I mean, probability of 53.8% is decent.
Yeah. And also if you think about the fact that I categorized two of them as flat, that definitely takes some of the data and skews it in a more positive light, I suppose. So then you might say, oh, 53.8%, that's only, there's only like a 3.8, it's like only 3.8% higher than being like 50-50. But if we consider the fact that only 30% are negative, if we take into account the flat years, then we should, in my opinion, from my analysis, I think investors and traders should be more bullishly biased or lean more bullish in their portfolios and their like trading positions going into the end of the year from Thanksgiving into the end of the year, basically. So yeah, essentially my conclusion is, yeah, investors and traders should maintain a bullish bias on Bitcoin going to the end of the year on
Big
Thanksgiving.
call.
Yeah.
Big call. I mean, we're already bullish,
And
right?
yeah, and that's a big statement from me because, as you know, I've had a short bias this entire month, really. So for me to say, oh, I should probably be bullish and other traders should be bullish, that's a big statement. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed doing this because I actually didn't know what is the data, like what is the price data for Bitcoin between Thanksgiving and coming into the new year. So I guess this trading lab is kind of like a selfish kind of pursuit for me because I
I
actually
love it.
wanted to find out for myself how should my exposure be for my investors in my trading portfolio. To
I
end the year,
love
we only have like a month and 10 days to go before
Yeah.
2024. So yeah, I think this is like very actionable insight that I can actually implement into my trading strategy going into the end of the year. I'm gonna maintain more of a bullish lean go on Bitcoin, especially given the recent price action we've seen on Bitcoin. It's been rallying really like quite a lot. So I don't see any reason why I would. I mean, it could of course turn around and reverse here, but just based on this data, there's nothing to suggest that this is like on Thanksgiving you should sell and then
Yeah.
go away.
It's
Yeah,
with first of all, this is what the trading lab's all about, right? Finding these different little statistical edges and then bringing actionable trade. Like I love it.
yeah,
And I personally, I fall in loopholes with Google Sheets and Excel. Like I love statistical analysis and diving into the numbers, not working out the math and the formulas and stuff, but because
yeah,
of the result of your findings. Like you now know that there's a 53.8% probability over the past 13 years that we print positive between Thanksgiving and the end of the year, right? Now, it'll be good for you to truly understand where, like, the averages of each one, so you can analyze the now from a seasonal perspective. 53.8 is not a great probability. It's not
right,
something I'd base a trade on, but it is still like you're aware of it and you're aware of the seasonality of the asset. If it does retain the seasonality, it's only been going for 13 years. It's tough to know if seasonality is going to be worth going off or not. But yeah, I absolutely love the statistical analysis. I love the numbers and I love the conclusion that you draw from it. I mean, I love doing stuff like that all the time. I don't know if you guys in chat do, but I love diving into these things.
yeah. So yeah, I actually wanted to do like some more analysis based on
Yep.
the data that I've gathered. So I actually think I'm gonna actually post this in the Discord later, and I'm gonna
Beautiful.
put up some more graphs, like maybe analyze like what the average percentage is. The only problem with like calculating the averages is that obviously in the beginning stages of Bitcoin, so in the early years like 2010, 2011, we can see that like Bitcoin's like in 2010 it was trading at 28 cents, so it's much more of a like a very low market cap environment. So it was much easier to get those like 95% moves that we saw in 2011. And then even like the 73.5% move we saw in 1 month in 2017. So I don't think, getting like the average percentage change is going to be a useful statistic, given that the market cap of Bitcoin in 2010 was like maybe a few million. And now it's, it's close to a trillion or like $800 billion right now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's changed a little bit.
yeah, for sure. But overall, I do think it is notable that the majority of months have been in the green. Like two have been kind of like flat or negligible, and then really only basically four of these occurrences during the Thanksgiving season have been negative. And yeah, just looking at this now, like the worst year was only, when I say only, it sounds like it's not that much, but yeah, 30% in 2013. But really, like the green months, like far outweighed the percentage change of the red ones. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it was like 17% in 2021, then 13% in 2018, and
Yeah,
then
I
yeah,
mean, if
13
like
and a
if
half 2014. So even during a down year, it's not like it's a lot for if you're like trading the S&P or the Nasdaq, but 13% downwards move in Bitcoin isn't something to panic about. So yeah, overall the trend has been bullish. And yeah, actually, let me like pull up the chart of
Yeah,
Bitcoin so we can
and it's
actually.
it's a matter of like using this on like if you look at the momentum crypto's got right now, the reach that it's getting because of that, and the overall media attention crypto's also once again getting because of this bull run. Like a lot is pointing to this pattern being positive this year. And
Yeah.
that's the thing with trading seasonality is like we can see the numbers and the probability and you can trade on that, but you also need to analyze what's currently happening. It's not just a matter of, oh, this has happened 13 times in the past, it's going to happen the 14th time. Like you still want to add a reason on why it's going to happen this time or how it's going to happen even better, whether that be through technical analysis, whether it be through fundamental analysis. But with the attention that it's already getting, with the bull run that we're seeing in crypto, and a lot of people starting to talk about the assets again, I mean, I could see that I can see that being positive. I can understand. And with you, I had a short bias and still do. But looking at that and seeing the way that it can come and the way we're acting at the moment, I mean, I can see it potentially printing positive.